What if you just let it all go? All those open tabs on your computer, all those open tabs in your brain, all of that unfinished business, all of those tangles of this project I'm going to get to, that conversation I'm going to have, or all of those regrets, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. What if you just let it all go? What if you just released it? What space, what capacity, what energy would that free up for you? Because here's what I know to be true. When we hold on to what is no longer available to us, what is no longer ours or was never ours to have, to hold, to carry in the first place, we block ourselves, we restrict ourselves from receiving what is really meant for us. And every single day, we don't have to wait for Monday. We don't have to wait for the start of the month, the start of the year, our birthday to start again. And when we start again, it doesn't mean that we're starting with nothing. We're starting with all that history, all that experience. But what I mean when I say if we start again, we release all of the shoulds, the coulds, trying to control everything, and instead show up with what we have, and we meet this moment for what it is right here and right now. Imagine how much more space and capacity and energy and flow you would have when we release all of the things that are just not ours to carry. And every single day when the sun sets is an opportunity to let all the shoulds and couldas set with it. And when the sun rises, and that's one certainty of humanity, is that we will see our own sunrise and our own sunset permanently when we come into this world and when we leave this world. And then every single day we have an opportunity to do it again. We do not have to live the same year for 60, 70, 80, 90 years. Some people never truly live, they just repeat the same year. They never grow, they never evolve, they never change. And when that sun rises, we have an opportunity to rise with it and to rise into what could be, into what is right here and now. Because even as the sun rises, and what is here and now could change when I get in the car, when I leave this space. And I'm currently on beautiful Wiradjuri country. On Wiradjuri country, on the Goulburn River. I don't know what the Wiradjuri name for this is. And I'm at a beautiful place called the Drip. And I just did an hour of silence. I walked the Drip, I sat at the Drip, and I came back. And I did an hour or more of silence with myself and just opened my ears and my eyes and my spirit and my heart to being in this time and space. To be able to listen, to be able to understand what love and leadership is. And that's when I realized is that it's time to let that next layer go. And over the last few days, I've been in deep ceremony with myself, with country, and with being held in ceremony with some beautiful leaders, Fleur and Lockie. And what I released has created so much space. And it's not about allowing that space to fill up with new things. It's allowing that space to just exist. And being on country and listening to country and listening to spirit really helped me understand how much I was still carrying that was no longer mine. And I realized that this is going to be a lifetime of work because I was born into this world carrying so many things that are not mine to carry. And at the same time, the more I connect myself to time memorial of my culture, of my Indigenous heritage, of being Barkindji and Yimpa, and coming to country, to ceremony, to culture, to dreaming, to learn, to listen, and to open my heart and my spirit to what is and the power of what has been, and to only take what I need and to leave the rest, and to look after country, and country will look after me. And it's the same for ourselves. When we only take what we need, what is ours, and we leave the rest. And when we look after country, we look after our bodies, our spirits, our minds, we look after our homes, and we look after those that are ours to love and to look after. And then we let the rest be what it is. We are not here I no longer am trying to change the world. I'm no longer trying to carry the world or undo 230 years of colonization or to undo the past, because I can't. But what I can do is I can be here and now and go, by me becoming my most powerful self, by me understanding the ecosystem, the world that I exist in, and walk and weave my dreaming into that world, to re-indigenize myself, to learn and connect to as much of my culture and story and history as I can, and allow myself to be my own purpose for as long as that season lasts, as long as the ancestors guide me. And by becoming my own purpose and taking what I need into my body, into my heart, and allowing that to flow out to my children, to my work, to those that I love and lead, how much more could I amplify? Could I alchemize that flow, that contribution, when I allow it to be, when I understand that I am the seed, I am the source of all my love, my leadership, my life and my legacy flows through me. So as I take what I need, as I do my responsibility of the work that I need to do to be who I need to be, and allowing my love and my service to flow through me and not to be something that I do, but something that I am, how much more would that be amplified in those moments? And how much would being more present with what is? Because as a mother, as a parent, as someone who has carried life and brought life into the world, and I have over 19 years of being a mother, or 20 years if you include the parenting. And I was helping care for my younger siblings much longer than that. Is that you never know when it will be the last time. You will never know, you will not notice until it's already done. When it's the last time, they call your name in the home because they live there. In terms of the last time they'll put their hands up and ask you to pick them up, to hold them like that, because they're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit more grown, and the distance between when they are in your home as dependent children or young people and them calling your name so much when they are little that you just go, oh my gosh, I just want 5 minutes apiece, to when they're teenagers and you just wish that they would call your name a little bit more or answer your call a little bit more, whether it be physically or through technology. And it was never conscious, and it was never with malicious intent that I took for granted what I had in front of me. And yet, now that some things are no longer mine and certain dreams had to shift, like my whole life changed 3 years ago. And I didn't understand, I didn't comprehend, I could never have predicted what I would no longer have because of the decision that I made in choosing myself, in choosing to be my own purpose. And only choosing to be in spaces, relationships, dreams, and energy that honored and respected and was reciprocal, was built on reciprocity and shared responsibility and resonance of what it means to be in right relationship. And who I was in those relationships, in those spaces, in those dreams. And when I stopped carrying the responsibility for how other people received me, instead allowed them to receive me, how much my life would change. And yet 3 years later, I can't change certain things. There's certain things I wouldn't change, and then there's certain things that obviously with time and wisdom I would 100% do differently. But now I get a chance to close all of those open tabs of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, release the shame, the guilt, and the grief that I have been processing over the last 3 to 5 years, and start fresh here and now to meet myself where I am with what I have in front of me and who's in front of me, and allow that to be enough, and allow myself to be open to receive. Because now that the space and the capacity is there, the new sunrise is here. I get to be with what is and allow my walking and weaving to be grounded in culture, ancestrally guided and led by my dreaming, and that my sovereignty and self-determination are the foundations for my wealth, my well-being, and my worthiness of how I show up and love, live, lead, and the legacy I create in how I show up and how I move through the world through my being. Because the world is so full of noise. There is so much grief and anger. Like even in this space that I sit right here, like this is the Goulburn River. And Lockie, who is a beautiful man, him and his wife Fleur, have been guiding us through their cultural knowledge and sharing cultural ceremony with us. And Fleur's a beautiful Wiradjuri woman. And they've already shown us how much the local mining here has changed the landscape. This should be a flowing river system. And the drip where I was should be so much different. The ecosystem, the very nature of this landscape has shifted because of local mining and things. And part of me is so impassioned by that, and I want to be a part of this community's change. And yet I only have so much capacity to give. It's not that I don't care. It's like, okay, what can I do? I can sign the petition. I can put my submission in, and then I need to lay that down to rest. Because if I try to carry everything, I will break, and I have broken. And instead it's like, what is my business to be here? What is my responsibility to carry and to be about? What is my responsibility and capacity to carry and contribute? So what is my responsibility? What is solely mine that no one else can do? That next layer. What is mine to contribute and is co-contribution and shared weaving and dreaming? And then what is just not mine at all to carry, and being okay with that and going, well, there's 8 billion people in the world. If every one of those 8 billion people took the responsibility to show up and contribute what is theirs to contribute to the collective good of humanity, and not on the whole totality of humanity, but if each individual stood up and took responsibility to go, what is my contribution? Who am I being in the world, and how does that contribute to my ecosystem around me? Understanding that this ecosystem is interconnected to the whole ecosystem, to the whole world. Imagine how different the world would look, how much different humanity and our experience of the world would look. And yet carrying the weight of the world and the worry and the fear and the concerns of what we can't do, and wanting to, I want to change this and everything. Whereas if we took all of that passion and all of that pain and go, what is the thing that is mine that I can contribute, that I can do really well and really deep? And it doesn't have to be the one thing. It could be the focused thing. It could be the 3 to 5 things that are yours if you're very multi-passionate like me. And in this time, in this day and the start of a new year, but remember, every single day the sun sets and the sun rises. So every single day is an opportunity to start again, to bring what you have with you and to leave behind what doesn't serve you. And that can be done every single day. It doesn't matter how many times you fall over. If you are listening to this This can meet you where you are. So if you are contemplating where you are in life and you're like, it's January, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, slow it down and go, if I changed one thing and I had one thing in December that I wanted to say, I did this, I'm so proud of this, and it changed my whole life. What could that be? I know we all want to do all the things, and it's like, yeah, but Chantel, you don't understand. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. It's got to do this. Yes, I get that. I am that too. And yet, if you're someone who wanted to focus on your health, what if there were 3 things and it was like, okay, every single day I'm going to drink 2 to 3 liters of water. I'm going to move my body for a minimum of 30 minutes, and not always for sweat and performance, but just to move my body to be well. And I'm going to do 1/3 thing. It could be that you're going to go to the doctor every month. It could be that you're going to look at your finances and build a relationship with your finances. But those 3 things, if you did them every single day, what difference would it make 365 days from now? And if you just showed up and you did the best you could with what you had, you loved what you had in front of you, and you allowed yourself to just be your own purpose, so that when you show up to love and lead, it flows through you. And those that you lead, those that you love, become beneficiaries of what flows through you, of what they receive from you, of what you do for them. This is the Warrior Heart Rising season, and I would love you to join me in the Warrior Heart Activation community. It is a free community over on School where we are doing this every single day. We are coming home to ourselves, and by coming home to ourselves, creating our own sense of belonging and allowing ourselves to stand in our power, be our truth, and follow our hearts, and understanding who are we, and what are we willing to fight for? Who are we willing to be in this world for ourselves first, and then allow that to be a ripple effect to flow out into the world. And I'm taking the Warrior Heart on tour this year. My book is coming out in September of 2026. The Suicide to World Champion, the birthplace and becoming of the Barkindji Warrior. And the community is available to you. I currently have one-on-one sessions available, and the Warrior Heart is going on tour. Our next tour is from Wagga. We'll be going to Wagga, Dubbo, Newcastle, Central Coast, Wollongong and Canberra in this next iteration. And coming up in February is Adelaide, Sydney and Melbourne. So if this has spoken to you, if this serves you in some way, please hit like or subscribe wherever you see this, and come and join the community. Share it with someone that you think will benefit you. And if you took just a moment to step back from everything, what would shift for you if you closed all of the shoulds and coulds, closed all of the tabs, and created space and capacity for what is and what is truly yours to carry? And what about if you just met yourself here and now? What would shift if you became your own purpose and allowed yourself to take what you need from your own life, to do what you need for yourself, so that when you are there for others, when you are at your work, at your in your community, in your home, in your caring roles, they were able to receive because you'd already done what you needed to do. And what if you just did 3 things every single day for the betterment of yourself? You identify those 3 things and you track it. What would change for you? What would become possible for you? Who would you be in December of 2026 if you committed, you showed up and you followed through, but from a place of love and meeting yourself where you are? I hope this serves you. I hope this meets you and honors you. Big love, Warrior Heart Yarns. This is the Warrior Heart Rising season. What's your season?